Should you have listened to me in week 2 of the NFL season, I gotta remain transparent with you guys in what I told you to do. First off, I told you guys to start Hollywood Brown. He had 5 receptions on 5 targets for 8 fantasy points. Could have been worse, honestly, but this is definitely an L in my book. Wanted to see more from him. Next, I told you guys to sit Terry McLaurin. He had 5 receptions for 9.8 fantasy points. Not much else said. This one is a win. Then I said start Keon Coleman. He only had 3 catches for 5.6 fantasy points, which is unfortunate because this one was weird. The Bills blow out the Jets, and Josh Allen himself didn't even have 12 fantasy points. But at the end of the day, it is an L. Then I said sit Michael Pittman. I said he wasn't going to replicate what he did in week 1, and I was correct. He had 4 catches for 40 yards and only 8 fantasy points. I said start Dak Prescott. He had 22.14 fantasy points in a win over the Giants. Not much to say. I liked this matchup, and it paid off if you listen. And finally, I went with 2 sits. I said sit Kenneth Walker. He ended up with 18.8 fantasy points. He still only carried the ball 13 times, and his score got bailed out by his touchdown run at the end. But at the end of the day, the points are points, so I have to say that I was wrong here. And then I said sit Isaiah Pacheco. He had 10 carries for only 22 yards and 3.9 fantasy points, so that one is definitely a win. That means I ended off this week 4-3, and that brings my overall record on the year to 8-5. I think the Keon and K9 matchup was pretty unfortunate. I think both of those could have been right, aside from maybe a couple plays or the way a few things went. However, that's the way the game goes. Check out my week 3 start versus sit on my page now. Thank you and have a great day.